Hey guys, I just wanted to take a quick minute to talk about the prodigal that's coming up. First of all, whenever we do a song, it's really important to understand why we're doing it. And so, if you're not familiar with the story of the prodigal, it is about a son who gets his father's inheritance. He goes off, he spends it in crazy wild ways, runs out of money, and then decides that, hey, I should go back to my father and see if I can be one of his servants because he'll probably never forgive me, but maybe I can at least be his servant so that I don't starve to death. When he starts making his way back home, he's going over and over in his head how he's going to tell his father. This is a parable told by Jesus. Parables are stories that weren't necessarily true, but were for a lesson. So Jesus was giving this parable so that people could understand the love that God the Father has for us. So as the son is making his way back home, he gets near his home and his father sees him afar off. And that part always stood out to me because it's the father is waiting, hoping that the son is going to return, and he's ready for him to return. And instead of the son making it all the way back, the father runs to him, embraces him, and the son, is telling him, I've been a sinner and I'm so sorry. And the father is ready to celebrate that he's returned home. He forgives his son even before his son has a chance to say how sorry he really has been. And so that is a story for us to take away. Number one, don't miss the point that this is the son. This is his father's son that is the prodigal in this story. And so I think sometimes we think maybe it's about someone coming to be a follower of Christ for the first time. But once we become a follower, we're his children. And we don't lose that just because we stray off. We don't lose being his child because we've strayed. But what it does also remind us is that we do have to make that decision to go back. There is a line in the song that says, going back to Eden ain't going to be easy. And so I think the hardest part is the repentance, is that first step that we take back when we say, okay, I've been getting my gaze in a different place. I don't want to lose my gaze, right? That's also a line in the song. I don't want to lose my soul chasing after things that don't lead me to you. So when we realize that we've done that, when our gaze has gotten off, then the hardest part is actually taking that first step back. But knowing that when we do, when our heart is in that place, God sees us afar off and he meets us where we are and he's ready to embrace us. And so I want us to have the attitude going into the song. It's a fun, upbeat song, and it's meant to be that way because there's a celebration that happens at the end of this story. There is a feast. He says, go kill the fatted calf because my son who was once dead is alive again. He was lost and is found. And so that's our story too. We can come back to God through repentance. A couple of things I want to point out. There's another video on here of the full song. But the stronger we are in the timing of this song, the stronger the song will be altogether. And so since this group leads the song as we go into our final rehearsal Sunday night, and then with the whole group on Wednesday night, we want to have some of these parts nailed down timing wise. And so I want to point out a couple of things that might help us come in at the same time on some of these. So I'm going to, hold on. Okay, and in the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about that timing. Thanks.